Good morning. This morning's video is going to be a rather quick one. I've told you before, my trailer is 13 years old and putting about 25,000 miles a year on a trailer, which means a lot of things are starting to break, rattle, and all that thing that goes with moving over roads like Pennsylvania and New York and the rough potholes. That being said, I'm having a leakage, a small leakage in my valve for my black water tank. It's not serious, but every time I have to go up and dump and you take the cap off that you're required to have on your outflow of your sewer line, I get about a quart of seepage out of it. And it's just nasty to get it over your hands, and when you're pulling up into a campsite, you have to have the hose ready to stick underneath it and catch that quart or so of brown liquid, gold, if you want to call it that. That being said, I really didn't want to go up and rip in the underbelly of my trailer. It is a winterized unit, which means it has a full sheathing across the bottom, uninterrupted. It also has insulation above it. And I was also concerned that if you cut the valve out that's existing, the new valve won't exactly fit in the same spot. Then you have to put couplings in. My luck is it's going to come off the tank and make a sharp turn, and I'm not going to have the room to put two couplings and a valve in. So what I decided to do, since it is a minor leak and I really don't want to rip up the underside of my belly, I'm going to do is put this valve on the outflow by cutting the original the connection that you put your hose to. I'm going to cut that one off. I'm going to put a union in like this, the valve in like this, the other union in like that. I'm going to measure out so it doesn't stick or protrude beyond my slide out, and at this time I will be able to keep it closed, and when I pull into a station to have to dump it, I'll be able to take the cap off and not get inundated with a whole bunch of raw sewage. If you've never seen a valve before, it realistically looks like this. It's only a valve. Rubber seals on both sides create the sealing that you connect with the unions. So chances are I might have gotten a little nick in one of them. Might have a little paper or something stuffed in it that when it pushes in doesn't create a tight seal. But either way, this is the quickest, easiest, and cheapest. This whole project is going to run me about $35. You can see these union valves are just $3.33 each. This was, again, about $3. The valve, I think, was $12 or $15. The only thing you need to be careful of is two things. One is the black pipe actually is it's ABS. You need to use ABS cement. When you are using black PVC, it's actually called ABS. It's just a different chemical compound that is used when manufacturing the process. You have PVC, which is white. You have CPVC, which is white, but it's for higher temperatures. Realistically, I did the research, and they're saying that this black ABS has gone away. They don't really require it anymore because, strangely enough, the fittings come apart. I can't imagine why they want it in a trailer, but if they come apart in a house, I'm really concerned about it. But it's 13 years old, so don't be surprised if you don't have the black ABS. You do have white plastic instead. Just know that you have to read carefully ABS cement. The cleaners are pretty much the same for all of them, but I bought a 2-part kit, ABS cement, for the black pipe and when I'm using black fittings. Again, if you have a white pipe, you have to use a different cement. I'm going to pause it here for a second. Now this step, what I've done is I've already put the rubber on the connection. You're going to see it's going to go like this. I put the rubber on the other side, and with nuts and bolts, I'm going to then tighten this on down. As you can see, I've bolted together with the nuts and bolts provided. They are locking nuts, so I feel pretty confident that it won't come loose as it's traveling. The next thing you need to do is clean the inside of the ABS, and what this does is it takes all the chemical coating that's on when it's in the manufacturing process. Then you're going to quickly apply a certain amount of black ABS glue to it, and then insert your union, give it a small twist, and 30 seconds later it should be solid. This next part we get to do laying down. What I've done is I've used a jigsaw, and I cut off the old fitting. As you can see I also had one broken nub on it, so I never had a good seal. When I was doing my dumps anyways, it was always squirting a little bit out the side, so it's a double bonus for replacing it. Now I used a jigsaw because sawzalls have a tendency of tracking when you cut it, and you don't get pretty much a good surface cut. The second thing I did is I threw a rag in there so it stopped seeping while I was doing the cutting. I'll have to remember to take it out. This is what the valve is ready to go. I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to put the cleaner on the outside. I'm going to put the glue on the outside, and I'm going to seat it. So it looks like I'm good to go here. What I did is I pitched it slightly up in line with the waste pipe in itself. I've got the valve closed. I do use the cap with the hose so I can drain my gray water right onto the into holding tanks without dumping the sewer. So I do have the gray cap. I've glued it properly, and like I said earlier, what this is going to allow me to do is, if you get seepage, you don't want to rip the underbelly of your trailer apart, add a valve like this. Now the next time I go, I'll be able to put the hose on nice and clean, open the valve, the seepage will go out, and then I'll be able to open my tanks and dump normally. This is Hughes for Outdoor Staycations. Ring the bell, subscribe, and safe journeys.